कालीकूर्चसमायुक्तमायाकूटोपदेशतः प्रणवार्थप्रबोधिन्यौ नमामि गुरुपादुके श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। क्रीं मात्रे नमः। वासुदेवेन्द्रयोगीन्द्रं नत्वा ज्ञानप्रदं गुरुं मुमुक्षूणां हृदार्थाय तत्त्वबोधोऽभिधीयते। श्रुतिस्मृतिः पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। ब्रह्मविद्या संप्रदायकर्तृभ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यो नमो महद्भ्यः। नमः सदसे. Good afternoon to one and all. We are starting a new series on the Dharma Basics series, and this is called Tattva Bodha. Tattva Bodha is one of the Prakarana Granthas of Advaita, that is basic texts of Advaita. It is in the form of question and answers, question asked by the student or disciple and answers given by the guru. And this is one of the very important texts in Advaita, basic texts in Advaita, because you will get used to various technical terms in Advaita by studying Tattva Bodham. By studying Tattva Bodham, you will be able to understand the various terms and their definitions. So there are two approaches here. One approach is that in order to understand the meaning of the terms, various tattvas which are used in the Advaita Vidya, Brahma Vidya, and another one is to understand the ultimate source of Brahma Vidya itself, the ultimate source and the ultimate destination and the ultimate journey. Everything is same in Advaita, because there is no second thing, there is only one in Advaita. So obviously the self is the only knower, that which is the Atman is also the Brahman. So there is no question of separate journey, separate destination and separate source. So whatever you are learning about, you are only learning about Brahman. So Tattva Bodha can be the basic text, it can also be the highest text depending on how we are approaching it. But we will approach it as the basic text because we want to understand the various terms that are used in Advaita. And on that note, I am going to use various translations as references. One translation by Swami Tejomayananda. I don't know if it is visible. By Swami Tejomayananda. And then one more translation by Dravidacharyar. He is the person. So these are the various books that I am going to use in order to give this Tattva Bodha. If there are any mistakes in my explanation, please forgive me. And if there is anything that you are able to gain out of this, then I would submit those gains at the feet of my Acharyas, Gurus and Adhyapakas. So that being said, the very first invocation of Tattva Bodha, that is Vasudevendra Yogindram Natva Jnanapradam Gurum Mumukshunam Hidarthaya Tattva Bodhaha Abhidhiyate. So this is the Tattva Bodham Abhidhiyate. So here the meaning is Vasudevendra Yogindram. Vasudevendra is the author of the book. Is the guru of the author of the book. Okay, that is here the usually Mangala Charanam. The first invocation is called as Mangala Charanam. Mangala Charanam meaning a bowing down to various purposes, by bowing down written before the book, the benediction or the reverence given to the god or the goddess, or the importance of the book or the purpose of the book is explained in this. And this kind of Mangala Charanam is the opening sloka is very important. It is there in all the Sanatanic texts, all the Astika texts in India. And the purpose for this is very simple. When we are doing something, we need to think about either Guru or God. There is no difference because Guru Sakshat Param Brahma. So there is no difference whom we are invocating. But we have to do that invocation in order for the textbook to be complete without any problems, and in order for the textbook to reach the people, in order for the text to reach the people, in order for the proposed aim of the book is to be achieved. The proposed aim of the book is to be achieved. Achieved by whom? Achieved by the readers, with the help of the person who is teaching the book. So there are four things here, that is adhikari, vishaya, prayojana and sambandha. These four things must be indicated in the Mangalacharanam, in the invocation. Okay, so it is called as Anubandha Chatushtayam. Anubandha Chatushtayam is the four different aspects that are to be indicated in the text. Here let us see the meaning. Vasudevendra Yogindram. So Vasudevendra, who is the king of yogis, that is the guru of the person who is writing this textbook. Some people say it is written by Adi Shankara, but Adi Shankara's guru is Govinda Bhagavatpada. Some people even argue that say Govinda Bhagavatpada can be called as Vasudevendra through some connection. We do not want to go into all of those things, but let us just understand the guru of the author of this particular text is Vasudevendra, and he is called as Yogindra, and he is supposed to be king of the yogis. That is how he is being venerated. Natva meaning having saluted or worshipping or bowing down to, so supplicating to. These are the various meanings for Natva. Natva Jnanapradam Gurum, the guru who is bestowing the knowledge upon me. That is Natva Gurum. Guru, I am Gurum Natva. Okay, I am worshipping the guru. Who is the guru? Jnanapradam Gurum. Guru is the person who is giving me the jnana, the wisdom of the subject matter, whatever subject matter is at hand. That is one sense in which you can take it, or you can take it as gukarasya, antakarasya, rukarasya, tatvishantakaha. So the ultimate knowledge giver can also be the guru. But either way, you have to be worshipful to the teacher, and you have to have respect on the subject matter. Only then you will be able to achieve. So that is the thing we are understanding here by the next word, mumukshunam hitarthaya. Mumukshu is a person who is having desire in liberation. So for a person who is having desire in liberation, hitarthaya, hita arthaya, hita meaning benefit or easiness or approach, ease of approach, or for removing the difficulty, or for clearing or for clearer understanding, whatever. So mumukshunam hita arthaya tattva bodha abhidiyate. I am giving this tattva bodha, I am expounding this tattva bodha. So with the, I am bowing down to my guru and I am giving this tattva bodha. So I told you there is something called as Anubandha Chatushtayam. This Anubandha Chatushtaya is adhikari. First thing is adhikari, meaning for whom the text is being written. Mumukshunam is the answer to this question. Mumukshunam meaning for the person who is having a desire towards liberation is called as a mumukshu. So this text is only meant for those who are seeking liberation. If you are looking at this text just for knowledge, or if you are looking at this text just for doing some argument or anything like that, then this text will not be useful for you. It will not give you the actual benefit, because the benefit is liberation. So if you are not seeking liberation, then you are not going to be benefited from this book. That is the only benefit this book can give you. Meaning, this is not like Kanakadara Stotram, this is not like Saraswati Stuti, this is not for wealth, this is not for the purpose of anything else, for killing your enemies. There are so many texts like that, but this text is for liberation, and it is for the mumukshus. So that is the adhikari. And then the vishaya meaning the subject matter of the text. So vishaya here is tattva bodham. Bodham means knowledge. Okay, the buddha shabda, the bodham means knowledge. Tattva, what is tattvam? Tat is a pronoun, tvam is the nature of that pronoun. So nature of that pronoun, whichever you are pointing out, the nature of that object becomes the nature of that pronoun when the pronoun that is being used to point. So the nature of everything is Brahmam. So the pronoun tat itself means Brahmam. Taditi Sharvanama. Okay. Tasya nama tat. Tasya bhavam tattvam. Sarvancha Brahma. This is the explanation that Adi Shankara is giving in Bhagavad Gita Bhashya for the word tat. He is saying tat is the pronoun. I can indicate anything with that pronoun. So the nature of everything must be the nature of tat. the nature of everything must be the nature of that pronoun. So Brahman is the nature of everything. So Tat is a term that which is used for denoting the Brahman. So this is the definition that Adi Shankara Bhagavad-pada is giving in Bhagavad Gita Bhashya for the word Tat. So Tattvam is Tasya Bhavam Tattvam. So whatever is the Bhavam of the Brahman, whatever is the consciousness of the Brahman, the all-pervading consciousness of the Brahman, that is Tattvam. Bodham has got two meanings once again. One is knowledge and another one is achievable experience. So the knowledge and the experience of the knowledge, or experience and the knowledge through the experience, it is a complex term. Bodham is a complex term. So by indicating Bodham, we understand that we are trying to reach the level of the Brahman. Tat, Tvam is the Gunam of the Guni. Tat is the Guni. Guni meaning the person who is holding the Guna, the substratum of the nature. For example, I can say one of the gunas of this headphone is black. So black is a guna and this headphone is the guni. So this guni is holding the guna called black. Okay, now if I remove this guni, the guna will not have substratum in this particular headphone. Similarly, if Brahman is not there, then the all-pervading guna will not be there. So the Bodha is the experience of all-pervadingness, omniscience, omnipotent, whatever you want to call it. All the whole list is there for enlightenment, for realization. So the whole list of things. So that is the nature of Brahman, and in order to be in that experience, in order to gain that knowledge, the easiest route is this one is Vedanta. So Vishaya is Vedanta. Tattva Bodha is the subject. So we can say Tattva Bodha is the reality of knowledge. Then Prayojana, that is the third one. We saw Adhikari. Adhikari is Mumukshu, Mumukshunam. And then purpose of the text is very simple. The purpose of the text is to attain liberation. Because Mumukshunam Hitarthaya, that is the term used. This text is being written, expounded, for the purpose of doing that which is wanted, that which is good for the mumukshu, for the seeker of liberation. We need to understand it like this. The purpose of the text is to do good for the seeker of the liberation. And mumukshu, or the seeker of a liberation, is a person who will only be satisfied with liberation and nothing else. A person is only satisfied with liberation and absolutely nothing else. So liberation is the purpose of the text. Okay, so we saw Adhikari, Vishaya, Prayojana and Sambandha. Sambandha is the relationship between the text and the purpose. So by doing this, by reading this text, by understanding this text, a person is learning Vedanta, and by learning Vedanta he is able to achieve liberation, and that is the only hita, or the good, that can happen for the seeker of liberation, that is mumukshu. So we have the Anubandha Chatushtayam explained here. Anubandha Chatushtayam is Adhikari, Vishayam, Prayojanam and Sambandham. So these four things are explained here. Okay, so the meaning once again is Vasudevendra Yogindram Natva Jnana Pradam Gurum. I bow down to Vasudevendra, who is the king of yogis. Natva Jnana Pradam Gurum, and he is the guru who is giving me the wisdom, who has given me the wisdom. Either way. Okay, Natva Jnana Pradam Gurum. Then Mumukshunam Hitarthaya, in order to do good for the mumukshus, in order to be useful for the mumukshus, in order to make it easier for the mumukshus, for the seekers of liberation, Tattvabodha Abhidiyate. Tattvabodho Abhidiyate. Tattvabodha is being Abhidiyate, expounded. So this is the meaning of the invocation. Now let us go, and this is the only shloka here. Apart from this shloka, there is one shloka at the end. Apart from these two, the entire text is in the form of prose. It is in the form of normal sentences, so it will be easier to understand for us. So this is going on like a conversation. We need to understand which part is from the guru and which part is from the Sishya. So after that, the text is beginning as Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampanna Adhikarinam. मोक्ष साधन भूतं तत्व विवेक प्रकारं वक्ष्यामः. This is the statement from the Guru, because it is saying Vakshyamaha. Vakshyamaha meaning we shall expound or we shall explain. Okay, so who will say we shall expound or we shall explain? The Shishya will not say we shall explain or expound or we shall explain. Only the Guru will say that. So this is the Guru's Vakya. First Vakya is Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampanna Adhikarinam. For those who are the Adhikaris of Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampanna. What is Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampanna? We will see it later. For now, let us just understand this word. Sadhana Chatushtayam is something. We will see what is that later. So, Sadhana Chatushtayam is something for the Adhikaris, meaning for those who have the authority over or those who have mastered the Sadhana Chatushtaya. Moksha Sadhana Bhutam. In order to give them Moksha Sadhanam, in order to give them the means of liberation. Moksha sadhana bhutam tattva viveka prakaram, the system of discrimination of the nature of that, the nature of the tat. The nature of the tat can be achieved only through discrimination. Therefore the system of that discrimination, tattva meaning the tattva, we saw the meaning of tattva. Tattva is the nature of the Brahman, okay, or the Brahman itself. It is one and the same. There is no duality here. Let us understand that very clearly. Tattva viveka prakaram. Viveka is to discriminate and to understand, to separate one from the other and understand. Discrimination. So the system of discrimination for understanding the tattva is being explained here. That is, for those who are having sadhana chatushtaya, for those who have already achieved sadhana chatushtaya, the means of liberation through the discrimination, through the system of discrimination for understanding the tat is being explained here. That is the first verse. Okay, now second verse. I told you we will explain what is sadhana chatushtayam. Sadhana chatushtayam kim? That is the question being asked. Sadhana chatushtayam kim? Nitya nitya vastu vivekaha iha mudrartha phalabhoga viragaha samadhi shatka sampattihi mumukshutvam cheti. So the previous question, I mean in the previous opening, the Guru said, what did the Guru say? The Guru said sadhana chatushtaya sampanna adhikarinam, for those who are having authority of sadhana chatushtaya. Now the Sishya is asking, wherever we are having the kim sabda and all the question words, we must understand that it is the question from the student. So this is the student's line. The student is saying sadhana chatushtayam kim? What is sadhana chatushtayam? And the Guru is answering nitya nitya vastu vivekaha iha mutrartha phalabhoga viragaha samadhi shatka sampattihi mumukshutvam cheti. There are four things. Four things are nitya nitya vastu vivekam, that is differentiating between that which is permanent and that which is not permanent. Then iha mudrartha phalabhoga viragaha. So iha amutra, both in this world and that world, both the good and bad of the earth and good and bad of the heaven, I don't want both. That viragaha, that determination is called as, is the second one. So there are four things. First thing is, as I told you, this one, nitya nitya vastu vivekaha, differentiation between that which is permanent and that which is not permanent. Number one. Where is my hand coming? Here it is. Number one. Number two, iha mudrartha phalabhoga viragaha. That is, here and there is we are moving away, we are determined not to enjoy the fruits of our not to enjoy the benefits of the fruits of our action, obviously. Then the third thing is samadhi shatka sampattihi. Starting with sama, the 6 different sampatti, wealths. We will see what are those things again. Whenever I am not explaining a term here, it means the full explanation is going to come later in the text, so do not worry. So that is the third thing. Where is my hand gone? Here it is. So that is the third thing. So we have 3 things here, and the fourth and the fourth thing is mumukshutvam chayiti. Mumukshutvam meaning liberation, thirst for liberation. So these are the four things, and those who have already mastered these four things, then this is the text for expounding the system for understanding. Okay, now the Shishya is going to ask how does each thing work, how to achieve each thing. All those questions are being asked. Okay, then so what is the first thing that we saw here of the four? Nitya Nitya Vastu Vivekam. So the student is asking Nitya Nitya Vastu Vivekaha Kaha. What is Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka? Okay, so Nitya Nitya Vastu Vivekaha Kaha. In the answer to that, Nitya Vastu Ekam Brahma Tat Vyatiriktam Sarvam Anityam Ayameva Nitya Anitya Vastu Vivekaha. That is, Nitya Vastu Ekam, there is only one permanent eternal object, that is Brahman. Nitya Vastu Ekam Brahma. Tat Vyatiriktam, apart from that. Tat Vyatiriktam, Vyatiriktam meaning apart from that. Anityam, Tat Vyatiriktam Anityam Sarvam, everything other than that is impermanent. Tat Vyatiriktam Sarvam Anityam. And then Ayameva Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka. This is only Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka. So the discrimination of that which is permanent and that which is impermanent is Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka, and the meaning of that is there is only one eternal object, permanent object, eternally permanent object, that is Brahman. Apart from that eternally permanent object, everything else is Anitya, that which is not permanent. So this is the differentiation. The system is being given here. System is being given. What is Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka? Differentiating between that which is Nitya and that which is Anitya. Okay, what is Nitya? Nitya is eternal. Eternal is Brahman. So apart from the Brahman, everything else is Anitya. Now there is an additional commentary that I would like to add here from my own side. There is a problem here. The most important opposition or the most important criticism that the Vedantis are receiving is that we are saying everything is impermanent, you are saying everything is impermanent, and so you are not interested in the world. This is the most common criticism that the Vedantis get. Dry philosophers, all these names we have. Okay, the problem here is when we are saying Tatiti Sarvadama Sarvam Brahman, Sarvam Brahma, we are saying everything is Brahman. So either everything is impermanent or everything is permanent. That is the reason why we are saying the final truth cannot be explained in words. The way is absolutely logical. So try to understand the way the final thing will happen by itself. By your practice and by your introspection, it will happen by itself. So the permanence and the impermanence, discrimination between them is what is called as Nitya Nitya Vastu Vivekaha. So tomorrow if I am if somebody is asking you, or if you are asking yourself, wherever you are seeing this word Nitya Vastu, okay, Nitya Vastu Ekam Brahma, Nitya Vastu only Brahman is the Nitya Vastu. Anitya, what are we pointing out as Anitya? Sarvam, Tat Vyatiriktam Sarvam Anityam. Apart from that, everything else is Anitya. We need to remember these terms. Okay, now the second one is Viragaha Kaha. We saw that Iha Amutrartha Palabhoga Viragaha. So Iha meaning in this world, Amutra there in the heavens. Iha Amutra Arthapala, that is a material benefit. Bhoga, the enjoyment of material benefit. Viraga of the enjoyment of material benefit in this world and that world. That is the second thing. So now the student is asking Viragaha Kaha. Iha Swarga Bhogeshu Icha Rahityam. That is the answer to that question. Iha Swarga Bhogeshu Icha Rahityam. Okay. Now Rahityam means lack or absence. Let us first remember that word before we enter into the meaning. Now Viragaha is dispassion. What is dispassion? That is the question. Viraha Kaha. Iha meaning in this world, Swarga meaning in the heavens, after death, during the life and after death. These are the only two states in which we can exist. Either we are dead or we are alive. So in both of these states, Iga Swarga Bhogeshu, in the enjoyment. Okay, Icha Rahityam, the desire on the enjoyment must be avoided. That is called as dispassion. Okay. Let us understand this a little bit more. Igaswarga, it is not described as Igaswarga Ragityam. It is not moving away from this world and that world. That is not what is Vairagya. It is also not Igaswarga Bhoga Ragityam. It is not moving away from the enjoyment, but the desire for the enjoyment. Okay, that is what is dispassion. We need to be very, very subtle in this understanding. That is, dispassion means, that does not mean I will not enjoy anything. It only means that I will not desire to enjoy something, because if I desire to enjoy something and if I am not getting it, then I am getting disappointment. Attachment should not be there, enjoyment can be there, no problems. If there is a requirement, then we can very well enjoy, because we are enjoying our food on a daily basis. If somebody is telling I am the absolute Vedanti, I will not be enjoying anything, then he or she should not eat. When you are eating, your body is enjoying the energy. You are enjoying this intellectual process of taking class and listening in Vedanta. So you are still in the plane of Iga Boha or Swarga Boga. Either way you want to take it. You can call this is divine or this is earthly. Either way is fine. So you are enjoying this. I suppose that is the reason why I am taking with the prayer that you should enjoy this. So let us assume you are enjoying this. So when you are enjoying this, tomorrow if the video is not coming, I don't know if any viewers will be sad about it. Let me know in the comments. But I think somebody will be sad. Okay, you are sad because you are desiring this enjoyment. If you are simply enjoying, then you will not be sad. But if the desire, icha, is there for the boga of either Iha or Swarga, for either this world or that world, for the boga of this world or that world, if desire is there for the boga, desire is there for the enjoyment of this world or that world, then it is a problem. The removal of this desire is what is dispassion or Vairagya. Excuse me. I am sorry for the interruption. So that is what is called as Vairagya. So we saw these things today. That is, we saw the opening verse, Vasudevendra Yogindram, and then Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampannadikarinam Moksha Sadhana Bhutam Tattva Viveka Prakaram Vakshyamaha is the opening of the text. And then we saw Sadhana Chatushtayam Kim Nitya Nitya Vastu Vivekaha Iha Mudrartha Palaboha Viragaha, and then Samadhi Shatka Sampattihi Mumukshutvam Cheti. So these four things, out of which we saw two today. One is Nitya Nitya Vastu Vivekaha Kaha, Nitya Vastu Ekam Brahma Tat Vyatiriktam Sarvam Anityam Ayameva Nitya Nitya Vastu Vivekaha. We saw this. And then we saw Viragaha Kaha Iha Swarga Bhogeshu Icha Rahityam. So this much we saw today. Okay. Now what I want you to do, what I would like you to do is get this text from online. It is available. I will give you the link if I can. So it is available online, or you can also, if you already have the book, you can read it. Otherwise you can easily purchase it once the lockdown is over probably. So you can purchase the book. Go through the text, by heart it, because all these are like tables, 1 tables, 2 tables that you will have to by heart if you want to do mathematics in the future. So whichever textbook you are reading, like Viveka Chodamani or Prashnottara Ratnamalika or Bhagavad Gita Bhashya of Sankara or even Brahmasutra Bhashya, whatever you are going to read in the future, Drigdashya Viveka, whatever you are going to read in the future, these terms will be used and these terms will not be explained there. These terms will not be explained in those texts. So this is one of the opportunities available for you to know the terminologies or the technical terms of Advaita Siddhanta, and by understanding the technical terms of Advaita Siddhanta, you will be able to read better texts and you will be able to understand them easily. That is the purpose of Tattva Bodha. Now this Tattva Bodha of Adi Shankaracharya, or an author who calls himself Adi Shankaracharya, or an author who was named Adi Shankaracharya, either way, we will not go into that controversy, is given as a separate series for your understanding and benefit. So please support this series as you have been supporting all the other works of mine. So by completing this Tattva Bodha, we will be able to understand the basics of Advaita. This is one of the unique opportunities available for you online. So share it as much as possible. That being said, we will end this video. Dacham yora vranimahe gatum yajnaya gatum yajnapataye daivi swastirastu naha swastirmanushebhyah urdhanjigatu veshajam shanno astu dvipate sanchatushpate am shanti shanti shantihe. Namasadase.